it's Marina here, clinical nutritionist, and I wanted to jump on today and answer a couple of questions that we had throughout the week relating to energy intake and energy out and kind of balancing that for optimal health and well-being and particularly body composition. So I know a lot of people who have been training, leading up to isolation, they were working really hard on their goals, and now this big shift in what we're used to doing, it can be really hard to kind of think, how is it best to manage this? So obviously you guys are probably not training to the same capacity as what you were before going into isolation. Hopefully you guys are still doing the online virtual classes. But with that said, you probably are not as active and burning as many calories throughout the day as what you were beforehand. So we need to take that into consideration, and we do need to think about our food, because ultimately that's going to be the biggest deciding factor as to where your body composition is going to go during this time. So some really quick things. I mentioned in a previous video that planning is really important. So you want to make sure that you're having, regular meals. You want to make sure that you're fueling for your training sessions adequately. And then afterwards, I'll chat a little bit about recovery, nutrition and tips in a later video. You want to make sure though that you're kind of manipulating your intake a little bit and really bringing it back to basics. I feel like, and I know this is the case for a lot of my clients, that people can get really lost in what to do when it's coming to body composition, fat loss, etc. They try and focus on quick fixes, but realistically it's about bringing it back to the basics, and it will always be the basics that matter most, and of course consistency. So think about your meals, having that planning in place, that meal prepping, thinking about having protein with all of your meals is a must. Yes, it's a basic, but are you doing this? So it doesn't matter if you're a plant-based eater, if you eat meat, looking at legumes, looking at beans, looking at protein in a smoothie if you want to, looking at chicken, beef, whatever it is, fish. Now, having that main component is something that I would start off with your meals. And then veggies. Don't underestimate how powerful this is for maintaining optimal body composition. One, it works with our bodies. So I'm talking about the fiber content. It is, all veggies have a huge amount of fiber. Well, they do differ a little bit in terms of their actual value, but they're fiber filled. So that's going to be really supportive for your blood sugar and keeping that balance so that it is, again, supporting body composition, your blood sugar levels, which might actually help you not overeat in later areas of the day. And obviously the micronutrient content, which is really, really important. So a lot of people focus on calories in, calories out, which when it comes to fat loss and maintaining that energy balance, it is important, but with my experience, you just can't beat nutrient density of foods because of all the nutrients and the micros in there that are really supportive for all the underneath stuff that's going on with the body. So I'm looking at things like thyroid health, which is supportive of your, your basal metabolic rate, which in turn, is really responsible for our body composition goals. Gut health, all these things which we'll chat more about in a later date and in a later video. But yeah, you just really want to focus on the basics there. When it comes to carbohydrate, this is probably the one that you guys can manipulate the most because you are a little bit more sedentary, most people at the moment. So that might be, if you are doing a little bit of strength training at home, you might pair your carbohydrate source really around that training time. When it comes to protein, you can keep that the same. Fats are good, they're not bad for you, so enjoy those as well throughout the day. They are going to be really good for your mood, your productivity, your hormones, keeping you fuller for longer, but you can overdo it, so just be mindful there and choose the right sources of fat. So some of my key ones that I really, really love using at home are things like extra virgin olive oil, so putting that on salads. Nuts and seeds are a really, really good source as well. Good quality oily fish. Hemp seeds, if you're into that, chia seeds, all of those kind of superfoods, which are really good as well. And then, going back to carbohydrate, that's where you can, as I was saying, play around with that a little bit. So for most people that aren't expending a lot of energy, you could reduce your serving of carbohydrates. So what that might look like, if you're someone who was having carbs, let's say for all 3 meals, you start your carbs, you could definitely probably back that off to 1 or 2. So just keeping that, consistency, kind of planning out your day, looking at where your carbs are fitting in the day as well. And a key component is to all veggies are carbs. So a lot of people freak out when they think, oh gosh, I have to cut my carbs. But always remember that veggies are carbs. And if you're reducing your starchy carbohydrate component, you're still going to have all the energy and you're still going to be, getting in that good carb source from veggies. So they're my main tips relating to energy in, energy out, and look forward to sharing more with you soon.